Hello, welcome back to Blender Studio Live Noding. In this episode, I want to try geometry nodes instancing with RenderMan. Okay, the other day I mentioned that we can only use RenderMan using Blender 2.92, and I just realized we can actually do some geometry nodes from 2.92. So, for example, if I have like just a single vertices of cube like this, I can use this with array modifier, and I can increase the number of points here. We have a bunch of points there, and we can use this with geometry nodes, and we can randomize the position and make this a vector, and then we can use this to kind of scatter points. We can further scatter the points again over here. And then we can use instance, so point instance. So this is how we can generate a bunch of objects very quickly. So now I want to use something like a torus, for example, and I want to just smooth this, use RenderMan engine, and then yeah, I'm just gonna use this as a ring to start with. As for the material, I can try with just metal, gold. Yeah, I can use like different materials. I'm gonna make 5 of this ring. So because it's nearly the Olympics, so just put this into new collections, rings. Let's save this very quickly. So RenderMan rings. And I can hide the rings, and I can go back to the cube, and I want to instance the ring. There you go. And so we can also randomize the rotation. Yeah, I think this is pretty okay, and also the scale of the points. Probably I can just make it the same size, but it's okay. Okay, this one is not adding. In that case, I just do it this way. Okay, so here I will actually make this 5 like a different materials. First one gold. Okay, second one I can just play around with all these attributes. Let's take a look at the quick render. If we give a bit of light, presets, category outdoor, and a sea, we're gonna have like lighting from the beach. Okay, so that's the render. It's quite nice. We have these gold rings, like in a Sonic Hedgehog. Okay, that's pretty easy enough to create, right? And with the cube, remember, we have this array. We can control the number of points from here. Yeah, make this like 10, minus 10, or minus 20. Bunch of rings. Okay, cool. How about if we use different materials? Let's try something like a little bit interesting. Preset browser, find the material. If I'm using actually the glass, Pixar material glass or bubble, actually looks quite nice. Where's the bubble? Let's try clear glass for now. Import and assign to selected. It's gonna assign into the one of the instance. Done. Okay, we are getting some of this glass. Glass looks beautiful, and the metal also looks really beautiful. All these materials that we can use. Back to preset browser, glass liquid, soap bubble. Ooh, okay, soap bubble. I never used the soap bubble. The eyes also nice. The other day I tried to make like a caustics render, but it was too slow, so I don't worry too much about caustics at this point. It's good for still life, however. This is gonna be the floor. Give it RenderMan basic Pixar surface. Okay. Maybe we will have shadow. Very nice, nicely cast. We get bubbles and gold. Let's try different materials. Preset browsers. Aluminum perforated. This one is beautiful. Import and assign. In order to make this a little bit more complete, I think, because they're kind of floating, maybe we can just use this, maybe add a cylinder. Just gonna make something like this. It's become a little bit like Aboriginal art. I'm doing this manually. You can also, of course, use procedural way, geometry nodes. And just instance a bunch of cylinders. Yeah, I think this makes more like a complete kind of art. And all these cylinders can keep this always tidy, you know, like put in the new collections, call it cylinder. We can of course instance it on the floor if we like to. And for this cylinder, let's give it a material. Mineral paint, plastic. Okay, do an IPR render. Yeah, I think RenderMan render is quite something. I haven't used other render engine like Redshift or whatever, but at least this one is the most available for if you're like a Blender user and you're using open source and you're doing your 3D. The cool thing about all this is that you can ideally you can just export this as USD. I don't know if it's gonna work. Maybe I need to also bake the modifier or the geometry nodes, but I think it should just work. Yeah, you see, this is a AR USDZ, and then the materials being used is being transferred, and you can just export this to your iPhone or iPad. This is already an AR object, so ideally you can have like such a beautiful render as AR. And if you want to add, you know, more like some kind of design, I don't know what you call it, some kind of wall. A lot of artworks in Australia is looking like this. Put it into new collections, call it box, give it a new material, right click. This is a quick way to do it. Phelonic resin is actually quite beautiful. Yellow, specular yellow. Okay, cool. So this is kind of art. You can name this art. Easy to create. Just a bunch of rings and cylinder, basics, primitive. And the render, if you wait just a few seconds, it's gonna look kind of nice, right? There's nothing more to say really. It's a just beautiful render. Remember, we learned how to randomize the color, like this maroon plastic is currently colored as maroon. If we learn already Pixar Vary, you can copy paste this color there and then put this there and then randomize the hue a little bit or the saturations. You should get a different color. This is very Australian. Yeah, I thought that's kind of nice. It's a bit random, I know, but really it's just I mean, it's all about, you know, expressing yourself pretty much. You can draw with grease pencil and make comics or drawings, doodles in Blender, or make like a 3D. It's all like a journey, you know. It's not like you're competing with other people. It's just for yourself. Whether you just wanna, you know, you just wanna create something, you know. There's a voice inside you that keep telling you just make something, you know, just create something, and or you're not good enough. Keep on making something until you're good. I have that voice since I was little, so there you go. There's a bunch of materials, a bit of randomness. You can see gold, bubble, and this perforated metal, glass, all this beautiful material. I guess I can just render this out, or I can animate this. Actually, I forgot. Totally forgot. Back to our, this is the plain floor. Where's the default cube? This is the default cube, which is just many rings, I just call it. Put this back into scene collections, so everything is tidy and nice. This is our rings. Go back to geometry nodes. We randomize the position, randomize the rotations. Do we have point, rotate? Yes, we can just rotate this. This is the animations. Combine X, Y, Z. Plug this in. This is can be a value. Give us a frame number, Python. Multiply this by math. Or just add and multiply, just, you know, for a bit of offset. You can multiply this first and then put this into the XYZ rotations. Sorry, you can hear the fire alarm. Okay. Yeah, there seems to be rotating too fast because, okay. Yep. I think it's kind of okay. random ring rotating. You can scale the ring. I mean, the ring is probably in different size, can be in different size. Totally random, but it's fun to create. It's fun to imagine, you know, what you want to create today procedurally. Don't forget to hide the original 5 rings. They should be hidden. Yeah, but you can see where this is going with basically with Blender and geometry nodes that keep being developed, continue like for Blender 3.0 and so on. It's gonna be really powerful tools. I wanna have like for this bottom part, metal and shiny metal. Silver. Okay, let's see silver. Silver is almost like glass, almost like mirror, so we can have nice reflections there. Yeah, I think this artwork is kind of very Australian because we have this Aboriginal colorful wood and we have this kind of water. I could, if I continue, you know, with this, we have only solidify for the floor, but this thing is just a plain mesh. We can subdivide a couple of things using simple, and we can use something like wave. Oops, yeah, waves giving that. Maybe ocean. Ocean modifier with, that's making wave. This is the scale of the wave. Maybe I should make this smaller. Yep, I think that's kind of okay. I keep getting outside of the dome. Should be bigger. I think this should be just square. And then repeat. And I can put solidify underneath. And we can animate the wave. Special size random seed time. Give it a time. Times multiplied by 0.1. Let's do a render. Now this is like also more like Australian style art. Yeah, I can now just send it to museum, I guess, or just pretend this is like in the museum somewhere. Australian museum 3D art. Okay, so yeah, that's really just the process of creation, like kind of like random art with basic primitives once again, but we are using these randomizations using some Pixar Vary and then also instancing of geometry nodes. It works really well, really. I want to try to make something that's less abstract, but this is what I like to do for now, I guess, quick and easy. Hopefully you find this interesting and useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.